Now this is how you make Star Wars. This is how you do it. Favreau, Filoni, they nailed this thing. JJ, you know what you can do? You can just bend over and just kind of like eat your magic mystery box. This is how you make Star Wars. And episode is directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, and Katee Sackoff is in it. Wow, it's called The Heiress. Let's talk about it. So this is a reaction and review for The Mandalorian Season 2, Chapter 11, The Heiress. And yes, this is indeed a reaction and review, and if you haven't seen one of these before from me, this is how it works. I can't show you the entire video here on the side, right guys, for copyright reasons, but I will pause it about halfway through and give you my reaction. I'll show some pictures and a little bit of video, and I'll talk about, how it's going and stuff like that. And then I'll watch it to the end and then give you my final review and thoughts like that. And hopefully you'll get a good idea of whether I liked it or not. But last episode, we just saw them limping towards this planet after the attack with the spiders. So I'm guessing that they're going to meet up with that other frog person. And we're going to see that... hopefully that lady that we saw, that mystery lady we saw in the trailer. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, let's get on to halfway through it. I can't wait for this episode. This episode is just making me happy. It's just something happens to it. Once Bo Katan was revealed, I was just like, yeah. We heard rumors that she was going to be in this, and yeah, it's Katee Sackoff. Oh, wow. I can't wait to see where this goes, though. Okay, so I just paused to where they brought him on to do this mission. But let's go back here to the beginning of the episode where, they're limping through space. Baby Yoda is just kind of sitting there looking around what's going on. And they get to this planet, and they start trying to make their approach, and it's really roughy. It's really rough going. It's going down not so good, but the visual effects are stunning, absolutely stunning. And then, of course, they get down and they fall into the water, opening credits. I like that, how it just goes... okay, so they get on to the wharf there. Frog lady's like carrying around her eggs, and she meets up with her husband, and they have like this little happy moment, and I like that. It was rather touching. I felt myself getting slightly choked up. Anyway, okay, so what happens? Basically, Mando is like to the male one, okay, well, you said you could direct me towards where these people are, my Mandalorian people are, and he's like, yeah, go to this bar, and we see that lady in the background that we saw in the trailer, and we're like, okay, I like this. Go to the bar, they're talking through a lot of the stuff. Okay, we know where to go. We're going to take you on this ship. There's a cute little scene there with some food. Baby Yoda is trying to eat this soup, and this thing jumps out on almost like a face hugger. I felt like that. Okay. Yeah, so far so good. It's going really fast. It's a really short episode, too. It's only like 36 minutes. And then they get on the ship, and we see that signature shot that we saw from the trailer. Guys, the visual effects are just top notch here. It's just extremely well done. And then it happens. The Mandalorians, led by Bo Katan, come flying down, and it's just kind of like, watching them in action. Oh my God, it was just really spectacular. And then you're like, okay, cool, they finally found each other. And then they take off their masks, and you're just like, wait, that's not the way. That's not the way, right? What's going on here? Like, he automatically has that feeling of distrust. But then, of course, I recognize Katee Sackoff, and the character Bo Katan is just like, it's just so beautiful. She's she's just so perfect, guys. Perfection. Just, oh, God. Anyway, they save him, and they blow up the ship, and then he's on his way back to his ship. They come in and they barter with him, and say, hey, if you help us out with this mission, I'll tell you where to find the Jedi. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I kind of have to. And that's pretty much familiar stuff for us here in the Mandalorian stuff, that we see him do these side quests for people, so yeah, it's no big deal. But I like that. I just got to the part where they're on the top of the ship talking about the mission, and you can see the Imperial ship in the background. So they're going to board it and steal some weapons. Is that what I'm understanding? Okay, that's where we're at, and I'm going to have to rewind and watch some of these scenes again because it's just so well done. But let's continue on to the end. I can't wait for it. It's just, yeah. This by far, guys, is by far the best episode of The Mandalorian that they've ever done. And when the ending credits came up and it said Bryce Dallas Howard, I was like, yeah. If you don't know who she is, you'll recognize her from like Jurassic World and such. She's amazing. And I'm really loving these episodes that she's directing, because she did an episode, I think it was episode 4 in season 1, and I felt like, oh my God, she can really do this stuff. Wow. There's so much about this episode that's so great. The music is great. The visual effects is great. Katee Sackoff is great in this. But there's so much to break down here. Okay. So it starts off back with them going on this mission, and this is this beautiful, beautiful shot of them flying towards the ship, and all 4 of them are like flying over the top of the ship. There's a great shot that is just so epic. That's my favorite shot of The Mandalorian that they've ever made so far, of all 4 of them flying in like that, and then they land on the ship and they start kicking butt, and it's just well, I'll have to watch that again. I'll show it again towards the end, because it's just so visually, that's Star Wars. That's what Star Wars is supposed to make you do. It's supposed to make you go, oh wow. And that's exactly what it did for me. And then of course they get breaking down into the ship. They're on there for some weapons. Bo Katan has this other ulterior motive, but all of that stuff of them fighting in the hallways is spectacular. Really, really spectacular. Seeing them all standing together side by side, watching them fight down the hallways. They get into the cargo hold area and they're fighting a bunch of the troops, and they're like, close the doors, close the doors. And then the guy's like, wait a minute, where are you calling from? We're calling from the cargo hold. And they all get sucked out. Yeah, it was just kind of like, whoo, wow, that's cool. And then, of course, she reveals her plan that she wants to take the entire ship and not, dump cargo and have to pick it up later. And Katee Sackoff, her line delivery in this is just, it's not a heavy material, but she just wears this character, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I want to watch it again. And you'll find yourself wanting to watch it right over again, as I'm going to do as soon as this video is done, because this is by far, this is Star Wars. This is what it's all about, guys. Oh wow, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so the ship is in peril, and it's being led by this commander. You may recognize him. His face is very, very familiar. Titus Welliver, I think is his name. But he talks with Moff Gideon on the comm or whatever, and he's kind of like, this is our first glance with Moff Gideon this season, and he's just, well, basically you can't let them take the weapons. Down with the ship. He kills off the 2 guys, and they try to scuttle the ship while the Mandalorians are trying to get into the cockpit area. What a great sequence. It was just a really, really well done, well cut, well executed. I mean, obviously Mando sacrifices his body and his armor to help get into there, but just watching them all four work together like that, it's just, oh, wow. Oh, I can't, that's just like my main feeling after watching this. Is just, wow. And anyway, they get in, and Bo Katan's like, well, where is it? She wants the Darksaber, right? Because she had it before. If you've ever watched like the cartoon stuff, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But obviously, she actually says it so that the people who haven't seen that stuff will know she's looking for the Darksaber that Moff Gideon has, because it's a symbol of leadership amongst the Mandalorians. And they talk about how she wants to go back and be a leader for the planet and their peoples, and try to reunite the clans, because this is something that they didn't really dwell on too much thus far, is that there are different clans of the Mandalorians that follow different codes. And we realized that once they took off their masks when we first met them. Like this, that's super sweaty stuff for Star Wars fans. You'll know what I'm talking about if you're super sweaty. For the casual fans, you didn't know that, but now you do. Okay, so basically, the captain there is kind of like, well, if you let me live, obviously Moff Gideon's going to kill me. So he bites down on this thing. It's kind of like their version of cyanide, but it's kind of like electrocutes him. It was just, these guys are hardcore Empire people. Like they really believed in the Empire, and they'll do anything for it. And this is post Return of the Jedi now, so this is fragments of the Empire. It's just cool because they don't bog down. They don't beat you over the head with the politics of it, but it's still there, and it's something we can recognize and just go, yeah, that's cool. And then, of course, they complete the mission. They seize control of the ship, and Mando and Bo have this conversation where basically she's like, well, come with us and, be part of us. But he's like, no, he's got to deliver Baby Yoda to the Jedi. And Bo Katan tells her that where he can find Ahsoka Tano. So we're going to see Ahsoka, and she tells him to go to this planet. And then if he ever wants to come back to this group, then he's more than welcome. And I think he will. Do you think he will? Let me know in the comments below. Having a spin-off about this group of people, that would be awesome. Last week, I broke this news that I didn't break it, but it came out that they're going to do this Boba Fett spin-off. And I was like, do we really need another Mandalorian series about Boba Fett? But you know what? If they have a third Mandalorian series with this group of people, I would follow it, man. I would watch that. Whew, yeah, that would be awesome. Because it gets into a lot of the lore behind the Mandalorian tribes and everything, because of Bo Katan. Yeah, I would watch that in a heartbeat. Okay. And basically, the only other thing I wanted to mention about Ahsoka Tano, I was just thinking about this because it's getting towards the sequel trilogy. And we heard Ahsoka Tano's voice in The Rise of Skywalker. Do you think once he gets to the planet where he's going to find her, we're all expecting we're going to see her in the flesh. But will we see her as a Force ghost? That's what I want to ask you guys. That's what I want to ask. Something in me says that could be a possibility. And that's why we haven't seen her yet in any of the marketing. But anyway, the episode wraps up. He jumps off the ship, and that was just really, really cool to see too. He goes and picks up Baby Yoda. And he's like, I know where to get you now, and I know where to take you. And they get in their rusty ship and fly off. And that's the Heiress. And as I said before, once it popped up that it was Bryce Dallas Howard, I was going, yeah, wow. Like, I actually cheered, guys. I was just like, yeah, because she's such an inspiration to me. I am truly inspired by her work. She's the daughter of Ron Howard, if you didn't know that. But yeah, this episode is going to go down by far as one of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian ever made. Like, I don't know how they can best it, but they seem to be doing that. And everybody was complaining last week that the last episode was just kind of like a throwaway one. Well, guess what, guys? They just reaffirmed again that, yep, The Mandalorian is something that you want to watch. It's the series everybody's going to be talking about, because especially this one. Now let's watch them fly over that ship again. Beautiful. All right, let's continue on, guys. There's a playlist for you guys to watch up there of all of these videos and reactions and reviews. I can't wait for the next episode.